Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and man, I appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check out today's episode, and got a really good juicy tip for y'all today. I'm going to show you guys how to use a regular kitchen pot scrubber that you clean your dishes with to modify your lures to get a lot more bites on it. Now, one of the things that I love to do in bass fishing, I love to tweak and I love to modify my lures. One of the things that gives me the most confidence is creating a look to my lures that you don't get off the stock shelves. Because you got to think about this when you're shopping for lures. Say you go into your favorite tackle store and you see the lures that are up there. Most people buy the same lures, the popular ones out there, and they take them out of the package, they tie them on, they don't do any modifications to those baits, and the fish see them over and over and over again. So I don't care what it is. It's like I never, ever, I don't care if it's a mega bass lure or any lure that I have, I always do some type of modification on it. Now, we've talked about a lot of different modifications on the channel as far as using, different type of dyes and fingernail polish and this and that. But I'm going to talk about this pot scrubber today in the video and show you guys firsthand how I do it here. I'm going to give you a little demo. Definitely think it's going to help you get a lot more bites moving forward. Also, guys, before we get started, thank you everybody that's taken time to hit that subscribe button here at Intuitive Angling. Invite everybody to do so if you like the content here. Free and easy, hitting that subscribe button, the like button, the commenting on the videos, sharing the videos is a good way to help the channel out. And also, guys, I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of the video as well here. They've got a lot of good sales going on right now for this fall. If you guys want to take advantage of some of those sales, using that link of mine is a really good way to support the channel. And finally, just wanted to share with you guys, we just came out with a new color of my Blaukat Throwback jig yesterday. This is one of my favorite colors. I've been using this for 30 years. We just now got it out. It's the brown, blue, and orange. This is an awesome color for the fall time of the year. They don't have them in Tackle Warehouse yet. You can get them at the Cumberland Pro Lures website. So I'll put that Cumberland Pro Lures website link in the description for this particular color here. And then you can use my Tackle Warehouse for the other Blaukat Throwback jigs, in different colors, or the Power Finesse jig I got. So really appreciate you guys putting up with those plugs there. Appreciate that. Okay, guys, here's the pot scrubber, man. I always carry one of these in my boat with me. I have for 30 years now. And I started out, the technique that I'm gonna show you here, I started out using sandpaper. But sandpaper was a little bit too rough and it didn't give me the uniformity like this. But what I'm talking about is modifying the look of your hard baits using this pot scrubber here. I'm gonna show you before and after. Now here's a Pro Blue Mega Bass Vision 110 stock out of the box. That's what they look like. Translucent sides on it here. And I'm gonna show you the before and after, what it looks like. So what I do with it is I just go along the sides here, and I'm going to spend a lot of time roughing up the sides. And my pot scrubber here that I've got, the thing is about worn out. I really need a different one to get a little bit more abrasive on it. But take your time and just go over the whole thing. And what this is gonna do to a large extent, it's gonna knock off a lot of that shine off of the bait. And one of the things that I have found out in my own lure modification tricks, I don't care if it's a soft plastic lure or hard bait, I don't want anything to look perfect. It's like nothing is perfect in nature. It's like a lot of the prey and the stuff that the bass feed on, it's wounded or injured. So I want to make my bait look the same way. I mean, I want it to look imperfect. That's why I trim my jig skirts to make them real scraggly. That's why I rough up my soft plastics to make them look all beat up. And it's the same with using this pot scrubber on the sides of the baits here. Okay, that's just a couple seconds there, and I want you to look at the difference here. This is the same bait. Now also, look at the coloration difference that you have here. That one on the top there that I just got done with the pot scrubber here, you can see the finish has been dulled on a little bit. Pretty noticeable difference right there in it, depending upon how the light's hitting it. And obviously, depending upon, if I went on the back side of it here, it's probably showing through on the back. Let me go on the back here a little bit and might get a little bit better view on it. But the extent of which this affects it has to do with how much time you spend, rubbing on the thing. And again, you can get different grit on this, and I would highly suggest taking the hooks off your bait before you start doing this, because it definitely has an impact on it. But you can get different grit. But there's the difference. Now this is the same bait. Now the difference is the bait here that has had the pot scrubber on it, it puts out a different look in the water. If you put these baits side by side in the water, just like that, in the water, it's gonna look different. This is the look that the fish don't see. They don't see this particular shade of it. Pro Blue is one of the most popular megabass colors there are, but this is how they see it. They see it sort of like flashing like that. They don't see it the more dull color like that. It makes a big difference, especially on a heavily fish body water. You can do the same thing on a bright colored bait, on something that's a lot brighter. So I'll do the same thing with that. I'll just come in with it, spend some time, just knocking that flat finish off. Now, a couple times, I've used a lot of different stuff with this, guys. I've scraped the sides with a knife. I've used files, like metal files on it, sandpaper, but just these cheap little pot scrubbers are the ones that I use most of the time. One of the things that always intrigued me is, like, David Fritz was one of the best, deep crankers in the history of the sport. And one of the things he used to always do is he would take his crankbaits and he'd hang them up in the window of his truck, and he'd let them hang there for months, and the sun would fade the side of the chartreuse bait he was using out, and it would give it a different color of chartreuse. It would make it like a faded chartreuse. And this is the same thing that you can do with here. So you can notice the difference. A lot of the shine has gotten taken off of this. You see that quite a bit of difference with that. And guys, don't discount that. I mean, if you were a bass, which one would you hit? Which looks a little bit more natural there? Taking that shine off it, roughing it up a little bit. Other modifications, I always put red fingernail polish on it. Let me show you real quick here. This is sort of a little side off the topic here, but I'm gonna show you another thing I do. When I'm fishing a jerkbait or a crankbait, I always use red fingernail polish on the gills. Now, some baits, they actually have red on the gills from the factory, but I don't like that. I want it imperfect. I want the fingernail polish to look a little rough around the edges, because again, nothing's perfect in nature. So there's a good shot of it, dulled down with the fingernail polish on it, and it just gives me a lot more confidence. As any time that I do something like that, I know the fish don't see that, because everybody has a way or a uniqueness of how they modify a lure. And one of the things about bass is bass are highly intelligent in terms of getting conditioned to certain things. And they get conditioned to colors and vibration and wobbles and lure profiles. And they really get conditioned to color, especially if you have water visibility of over about 2 foot. So any type of lure modification that you can make with your color is going to go a long way into generating more strikes, especially if you fish public bodies of water that get a lot of fishing pressure, or if you fish on days that are tough fishing, like bluebird skies, bright conditions that don't have much wind. This is another time that they really work. But anyway, guys, just wanted to share that with y'all. Like I said, just try to get you some pot scrubbers. You can get them just at the grocery store or whatever. I carry them in my boat with me all the time. I've had this one in there for a couple of years, like I said, about due for a new one here. But wanted to share that little tip with you guys. You will definitely notice an increase in the strikes. I can promise you, if you get out there with somebody that's throwing just a bait right out of the box and you modify it with that, with the pot scrubber, put a little red fingernail polish on it, you'll definitely get more bites than somebody just using a stock bait. So hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.